So now we are going to start with the JavaScript concept. Let us see how it is going to help our web pages to design, okay, and how it is going to combine with the HTML to give us a dynamic view for our web pages. So let's have a look of it. Let's introduce what is a JavaScript. Basically, JavaScript is a versatile, dynamically typed programming language used for interactive web applications. You might have seen few of the interactive web applications on your browsers or on your handsets, right? Where as soon as you have opened it, within few seconds of time, there was some different page, and as soon as you are changing few of things or selecting any of the items, the background or the foreground of the page will be differing. Okay, it will be shifting time to time. So, or it can be making the user to make certain selections based upon the display available and so on. So that is the usage of the interactive web page, okay, supporting both client and the server to work upon it. So this development of the interactiveness is seamlessly with the help of the HTML, CSS, and also it has the rich standards of library for making the pages dynamical and work upon it on the dynamic basis. So it's a combination of HTML, CSS along with a rich library source which is available for us to make the pages dynamic. JavaScript is a single thread language that executes one task at a time. So you see that here it is also a single thread language where at a time a single task will be executed. It is an interpreted language, which means it executes the code line by line. Interpreted language like your C programming is there, other C++ and all. So it's like that only. It will be executing the code line by line. The data type of the variable is decided at runtime in JavaScript. That's why it is called as dynamically typed. Yes. So what is meant by the runtime dynamically typed is, if you're writing the code in the C language, we initialize the variables in the beginning, like whether it is an integer type or a floating type or a string type, right? Same way, here also we will be doing so, but the type of the data will be identified by the compiler at the runtime. That is the reason we will be defining it as dynamically typed data, right? So let us see a small example program here, okay, to write or display hello world onto the browser console. To write this simplest way, we will be executing it in the JavaScript. If you see here, this is a simple code for executing the script language where we are going to print hello world into it. So it's initially taking the HTML code with it, starting with the HTML tag, closing with the HTML tag, head section of the HTML body. Inside the body of the HTML, we are going to write at the console, there is a message for the user that this is our first JavaScript program where we want to display hello world. Okay. So, like in C language, we used to write the statement for printing on the output screen by using printf. Like in C++, we use as cout statement. Likewise, here we are going to use console.log, okay, for displaying anything onto the output screen. So this will be printed onto the output screen. You will be seeing this execution as and when we are executing the code. So that will be displayed from the server side. So we can also print the hello world program directly from the console terminal without embedded into the HTML code, okay, by using the extension of the file as .js. So here you must remember, if at all you want to directly interpret the language without at the console with at the runtime, means directly at the console terminal, if you want to execute the code, so you will be saving the files with an extension called as .js, like you did it for the C programming, like .c and .cpp for C++. Likewise, here we are using the file extension called as .js, followed prefixed with the file name .js. Okay. So here is an example where you will see at the console we will be displaying just the message to the user, and this is a multi-line comment statement. Okay. It's similar to your C language where we have a multi-line comment by using slash and asterisk, followed by at the ending also we will be using asterisk and slash. So this is the code that we have entered at the runtime means at the console you're going to display the message as hello world. So that was an example. Here, what is this console.log? It's a method that is used for printing the messages to the browser's developer console. Okay. Usually we use it with F12 or Control plus Shift plus J to see the messages that to be displayed. For running this output, we will be using the shortcut key as F12 or Control plus Shift plus J. Okay, and that's how you will be seeing the messages. And that console.log is a method that is used for displaying the message onto the browser. Similarly, what are these comments? There is a single line comment message and a multi-line comment. Single line starts with a double slash and the multi-line starts with a slash and asterisk followed by asterisk and slash. Where comment means it's an explanation or the documentation that will be given to the user while doing the coding and all. So that we can do in two ways. One is a single line comment, the other is a multi-line comment. Now, let us understand few of the key features of JavaScript, why it is in so much of demand. Okay. So at the client side scripting, JavaScript runs on the user's browser, so has a faster response time without needing to communicate with the server. So it has a faster response time, so it need not communicate with the server as and when required. That's the importance of client side scripting. It's in versatile nature. Its nature is versatile because it can be used for a wide range of tasks like simple calculations or complex server-side applications. It can be using very quickly and efficiently. That's the nature of the JavaScript. It's a versatile in nature. Event-driven. JavaScript can respond to the user's actions like clicking, keystroke, mouse movement, okay, and all those things. It can identify it easily. That's the reason one of the feature of the JavaScript we identify it to be event driven. In the real time it is. Asynchronous. It can handle tasks like fetching the data from the servers without freezing the user interface. Okay, so it is asynchronous in nature. It will be letting the user to carry on their own task, and it will be getting or fetching the data from the server at the same amount of time. So it is asynchronous in nature. Rich ecosystem. There are numerous libraries and frameworks available for the JavaScript, such as React, Angular, okay, which will help us to make it more faster and efficient. Now, if we look into the client and server side nature of the JavaScript, how it works in the client side is, it involves controlling the browser and its DOM, okay, document object model, handling user events like clicking and clicking onto the page or inputting, giving the inputs onto the form. Rich libraries such as AngularJS and React.js, Vue.js are commonly used here at the client side. Whereas on the server side, if we look into it, involves interacting with the database as and when required, manipulating the files, updating the files, generating the responses to the user with the Node.js, and these are the frameworks that we will be using at the server side in the JavaScript. So this is how it's going to respond with the client side and the server side by using the JavaScript. We have seen that it is imperative in programming, likewise focuses on performing the task, okay, and approaches like procedure and object oriented programming by using the constructs like syncing and awaiting, handling the event actions, or what we can say try and catch blocks, okay, handling the events, catching the try and the catch section for handling the errors and all. So it is imperative in nature for the computations. Likewise, it is declarative programming. It focuses on how and what should be done rather than how it's done. It focuses on what should be done rather than how it should be done. It emphasizes describing the desired result, like the nature of the functions, without detailing the steps to achieve it. Okay, so these are the features of client side and the server side scripting of JS. Now moving on to the applications of JS. Basically, the major purpose of using the JS is for web development, which adds the feature of interactivity and dynamic behavior to static web pages. And the popular framework like JS, Angular JS, it's enhancing the development of the web pages by incorporating into Angular JS and our JavaScript. Now coming to the web applications, it's JavaScript uses it's used as a power robust web application. It's going to give high weightage for the development of the web applications and the websites by making it very user friendly. And apart from that, it is going to use the APIs, okay, React and Electron to create dynamic user experiences like Google Maps and all. So it is in dynamic nature. Google Maps is a very good example to identify the application of it, okay. As and when required, it is dynamic in nature. It is along with the object, it's going to navigate easily and efficiently. Server applications, with the help of the Node.js, it brings the JavaScript to the server side, enabling powerful server applications and full stack developments, we can say. Now, it's also incubated into the gaming development, okay, by combining the HTML5 and the library functions that are there available for us in JS. Collaboratively, we are going to develop the gaming side also in the web development. Smart watches, if you see today, we are able to connect the smart watches with the different devices. Likewise, it's also supporting the apps that are connecting online with the help of the internet connectivity. Now, as we have seen the features and various good things about the applications about the JavaScript, now let us see few of the limitations that are existing in JS. The first and foremost limitation is your security risk. Okay, JavaScript can be used for attacks like cross-site scripting. This is the major attack. Okay, where malicious scripts are injected into the website to steal the data by exploiting the elements like img tag, object tag, script tag. So these are the tags that will be maliciously attacked by the attackers to steal the data from the websites. So this is one of the very insecure limitation, I can say, okay, with respect to security by using the JavaScript. Now, coming to the performance, JavaScript is slower than the traditional languages for complex tasks, but for simple tasks, it is in the browser and performance usually not a major issue. Okay. Basically, for complex execution of the traditional languages, complex tasks, it will be efficiently using it by slowing down a little in the performance, whereas it's not a major issue for the performance. Coming to the complexity side, it's also one of the complex tasks for running the objects and the programming concepts onto it, like both the object-oriented program, procedure-oriented, and as well as a client-server scripting. So this is going to be a challenging phase for using the complexity into the nature of the JavaScript. Now, it has another disadvantage as weak error handling type and checking. Okay, it can very slowly or check the errors not that efficiently, because it is very weakly typed in that error handling, meaning the variables don't require explicit types. This can lead to issues like strictly enforced for enhancing the feature of security and error handling. It's one of the limitation concept of the JavaScript. Now, coming to the next concept, so those were the limitations of your JavaScript. Now, coming to the prompt box. As you use the concept of prompt box, it is also one of the type of the pop-up boxes that we see in our JavaScript. You might have observed the pop-up boxes, right? Similar is your prompt box, which is often to take the input a value before entering a page from the user. For example, there is a pop-up box available for you. So it will be waiting the other pages of the website or the what I can say other pages of the screen of your window. Okay, other windows, even the windows will not be uh, available for the user to make certain changes into it until the pop-up box or the prompt box has been given the task or the command onto it. So until you click an OK or a cancel button, the other windows will not be effectively in use. That is the usage of this prompt box, I can say. So the syntax for this prompt box is window.prompt, some of the message whatever you want to write. For example, uh, there will be a message to the user as, if at all you want to save that content of the page, click OK, if not cancel. Two buttons will be given to you. Until the user has used that message and make certain actions upon it, until then the other windows will be deactivated for the user. Okay, so this is with the help of the syntax, with a method called as window.prompt. There will be some message given to the user. Another syntax that we will be using is directly prompt by some message. And the other box that we are going to use is alert box. This is also similar to that only, where indication to the user of file saving certain changes. If at all the user is making a document and not saving it and directly closing it, so at that time an alert box will be there. Do you want to make the certain changes? If not, the data will be lost, right? So that is the information given to the user by the JavaScript here. So the user will have to click OK to proceed further upon the alert box. Okay, and the syntax for that one again here is window.alert with certain message. If not, the other syntax is alert and with respect to the message, whatever the user want to give onto it. So this is a small example that we have given in the HTML5 version for the alert box and the prompt message. So if you see here, this is the styling and all we have done in the body section. Initially, the styling we have given for the text alignment as center, and upon the body section, we are styling the H1 as the green in color. And for the welcome to JavaScript, that is a tag, that is a message that we are displaying in H1 tag, right? Followed by, now, if you see this alert box, upon clicking of the button, it's going to show the alert box. Okay. If not, it's going to show the display, right? Likewise, an alert box, there is another message with respect to the prompt box, where the prompt box will be displayed to the user. And what it is going to display in the alert box? Welcome to JavaScript. This is an alert box. Okay. And in the prompt box, there is a message given to the user until the data has been entered in response to the message that is given in the prompt section. The page will not be moved, or the window will not be highlighted, or it cannot be making any certain changes until the user had made certain response to this prompt and as well as the alert boxes. So this is a small example with respect to alert box and as well as the prompt box. You will see the execution of it. Now, coming to the supported browsers, what are the various browsers that are supporting JavaScript? Here we have seen with respect to prompt and alert boxes, what are the browsers that are supporting us is Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Opera, and Safari. These are the browsers that are supporting both the prompt box and the alert boxes.